comedy show is comedy for musicians, but everyone is welcome. You do some jokes in this that are very specifically for, because you are a very talented musician, this is very specifically for musicians, jokes that musicians will get.
Yes.
Maybe to the exclusion of other people, or no? You think other people get them too?
You know, I've been doing it as a sort of tour, and my hope is that other people who are not, is everyone a musician in the audience here? Some.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah, why would you say everyone? That's a weird thing, you know? You're all magicians here, right?
But you never know.
Yeah.
And so I do these jokes that are specifically for musicians, and my hope is that other people will go along with them anyway. I mean, for example, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm not expecting you guys to laugh. In fact, sometimes even when I do this in my stand-up, people are puzzled by it.
No.
Okay. So I talk about musicians.
You found a great formula. Yeah.
You know, there are different musicians, there are guitar players, bass players. I find that horn players, like trumpet players and stuff, they never talk about music, they only talk about money.
Really?
It's the strangest thing. They're always like, you know, I got paid for this one thing twice because it was a wedding and it was on a boat. And, I never hear a trumpet player go like, I wrote the most beautiful song on the trumpet today.
I don't think anybody writes on the trumpet. Do they? Nobody sits there and goes like, wah, wah, wah.
It's an instrument.
Wah, wah. You know what I mean? I don't think they write on it.
But shouldn't they?
No, I don't think so.
Then what about Chuck Mangione?
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing. What about Chuck Mangione? Yeah. Or Herb Alpert.
I can't believe two people are in my face saying, what about Chuck Mangione? That hasn't happened in 30 years. Hey, man, what about Chuck Mangione? Let's take this outside. Bam,
We're
bam.
We're tired of your anti-brassism.
I'm just saying. I'm sure it's a fine instrument, but, you know, it's a kazoo with an attitude. You know what I'm saying?
It's a kazoo with an attitude.
So stupid. No, I love horns. Of course I love horns. I'm just making trouble.
In all seriousness, we do love horns, right?
No, I said that to cover my ass, and then you got all sincere, and I'm like, not that much. You do great. I saw you this once. You do great impression of people listening to different kinds of music. And you do. I was going to ask if you would do. I really like it when you do an impression of a guy hearing doo-wop.
Yeah. So.
Is this someone hearing doo-wop for the first time?
Yeah, it's just that, like, heavy metal now, like rock music is so heavy. It gets heavier and more dense as time goes on. So by that logic, if you go back in time to the 50s, there was a time where doo-wop music was like the heaviest thing you could ever hear.
Yeah, it was it was like blew people's minds.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So I like to do my impression of a guy going to a doo-wop show in the 50s, and he is so into it because it's the heaviest thing he's ever heard. So I have to stand for it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll stand right here. How's this?
What a bold choice.
All right. So I don't want to block Andy though. All right. So this is I'll put the band up there. The band is playing up there. This is a guy watching a doo-wop show. Hit it anytime.
Great.
Thank you.
That guy didn't sleep for 3 weeks after that experience.
He talked about it for weeks.
Incredible.
What is this call?
Wow! I got to get more of this doo-wop in me. This is fantastic.
Who are those guys?
Yeah, where'd you think of that? That's such a you have these great left-brain ideas. I've been in comedy for a long time, and I'm always intrigued when people have an idea. And I'm like, how'd the person think of that? Were you listening to doo-wop when you thought of that?
It seems to happen if I'm in a car and, like, you know, the driver or whatever will put it on. Mm-hmm. That's always where I'm like, what, you know,
yeah, and then you
what
start
is
to think
this?
stuff.
And
yeah.
It happened sometimes with classical music. I'm like, who is this for? Do people really? And I don't mean no disrespect to but I'm like, do people really get into classical music?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. People take it very seriously, and I respect that. I still think no horns are bullshit, but classical music, yeah, seriously, yeah.
Really?
I don't know why I'm picking a fight with the horn players of the world. I have no skin in that game, but yeah, people do really get, people care a lot.
There's so many lulls. Like it'll just go, and it just disappears into something.
It's the spaces between the notes that are beautiful. I always like to end on sort of an awkward silence.